Welcome into the live stream. It's McCready and Siskey, powered by Rain Total Body Fuel. God save the King. Thoughts and condolences to Queen Elizabeth II.
I had no idea until you just told me that.
That's what I do. I try to keep people like you informed on what's going on in our world. That's my job.
I mean, I didn't even see I didn't see anything on social media. And I was on it right before I came in here.
Do you not follow any news? Kind of
Purposely not. No, I do not. And that's by design. We'll see how depressed our world can be if we do that.
I'm prepared for some Iowa slander. I'm not going to let it go unchecked. You're not going to walk into the Clark Ford Studios and do what I think you have planned to do without some pushback.
Okay.
So prepare it thyself.
I'm come with Quick U clients ready to go. Quick U clients versus the Hawkeyes this week.
You're just not working hard enough on the Iowa account, okay? All right, so we're going to talk we'll talk some NFL today. I got going to pick NFL games. The NFL gets started tonight. Got Bills, Rams out in Los Angeles.
Yes.
Battle of the team that most everyone's picking to win the Super Bowl against the team that just won the Super Bowl. So we'll talk about that game. We got some other games we're picking. Neither one of us. Yeah, you are. Never mind. One of us is hot on one of the game tonight. I'm not. Yes, I am wearing gym shorts. I do not have on a full uniform. If I had some Iowa pants, though, I'd send me a pair of Iowa pants, and I swear I'll wear them on the show.
When I walked up and I saw you coming outside, I was like, my man is prepared and ready to go. I mean, jersey and everything.
Oh, yep. So,
I don't even own a jersey. I've never been a jersey guy.
I'm not really a jersey guy either, but sometimes people send them to me. Someone sent this to me during the pandemic.
Gotcha.
And I do have a Bengals jersey that I might break out tonight for the big game.
I have an A.J. McCarron Bengals jersey. I guess I could.
Yeah.
But it's like signed and stuff. He gave it to me when he was playing there.
You should get that framed.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah. Got it for my kids.
High Nike Elite socks.
And sandals. Yeah.
Yep.
Are you a socks and flip flops guy?
No.
I can see you wearing socks and flip flops.
No. I do. The only thing I have, I'm not a flip flop. I'm not a flip flop guy at all. I have a pair of those UFOs, the recovery.
Okay. Yeah.
Those are nice.
Yeah.
Those feel good.
Yeah. If I don't have to wear, what's the cool part about owning your own business is you can wear whatever the hell you want to wear. So
Google's youth large Iowa football pants. All right, so we're gonna get rolling. Let me thanks for everybody being on the stream. Appreciate everyone being part of the show. We're getting super numbers. A lot of people are talking about the show. We really appreciate that. So thank you. Hang tight. Let me get this audio file set up, and we'll get rolling here with
Jonesing over here. Let's
episode 15 of the big show. Welcome into another edition of McCready and Siskey, powered by Rain Total Body Fuel. I'm Neal McCready. That is Tyler Siskey.
And you have 45 minutes.
It is September the 8th. It's day one of the NFL 2022 season. Tonight, it is the Bills and the Rams. We'll talk about that game. We'll talk about the NFL slate. We'll pick some games. We will pick week 2 of the college games. I'm way behind. We covered that on Monday. There's no point in just belaboring it.
Hey, somebody said on your deal today, and I agree with them, you need to just pick what the 5 best you got. I know you don't want to be repetitive and all that, but dude, you don't want to get into a habit of getting behind and having to go like to Antarctica or something.
That's true.
In December.
What we got to come up with the punishment.
All right, I told somebody in the thing today, I was like, we need to come up with a punishment, whatever it is, and I'm all about it. I don't care what it is. I'm just not eating anything.
Yeah. Okay. So here's what we're gonna do. It's 2:02 when we finish this show, probably around 3:20, 3:30. We are going to have it decided.
That's it.
So make suggestions in the stream. This is your ability to have power, but it cannot involve food.
Yeah, I'm not eating shit
or drinking bad stuff. I'm not doing
not my thing.
Anything that's going to make me like vomit. I don't want to do it.
Yeah, I'm good for that.
So I mean, and that's not even me being soft. That's just no. You know what I mean?
No,
I mean,
I'm with you. I'm not doing it. So I'll go do anything else. And I can't get a tattoo. That's the only other thing I can't do.
Yeah, no tats.
No tats.
No tats. No tattoos. No food and drink weirdness.
Yeah, I'm down.
This show brought to you each and every episode by our friends at Rain Total Body Fuel. 300 milligrams of natural caffeine, BCAAs, electrolytes, zero sugar. It's got what you need to push the limits, achieve your goals. Check them out on Instagram at Rain Body Fuel to learn more. I've got the rainbow sherbet again, which is one of my go-tos. I'm about to place the big order, by the way.
We got it. It's coming.
Okay.
Yeah.
'Cause
Bob sent it.
I got stuff that I want to put it in my fridge. I got stuff.
Yeah. Bob has sent. I'll ask him. It was like last week. We talked last week anyway. It was sent. You know how the mail is these days. So,
yeah.
But whenever it gets here, I'll make sure we'll get you taken care of. He sent a bunch. He said so. We got the. I'm going white gummy bear today.
Okay.
So.
All right, let's see. Loser has to go to the Mayo Bowl and pick the spread and over-under correctly. If they don't, then they have to get dumped with mayo.
Ooh, that's not a bad
not
idea.
Terrible.
Grind. I like where you're at.
The MAC Women's Soccer Championship for Siskey.
Oh, that was a good one. I don't know who said that.
Loser has to go to the UConn football game in November.
Yeah, but the season won't be over by then. That's the hard part.
Yeah, because we're going to go.
Bowl season good, but
we'll go through. When do we want to declare the loser of this? Because we'll still pick bowl games, but from a competition standpoint, when do you want to say?
I would say the end of championship week.
Okay.
Of conference championship.
So
week.
We go through the conference championship week,
Yep.
so the first weekend of December.
Yes, and then, or we could go to the Pinstripe Bowl in New York, outside like December, whatever it is in New York, and no shirt can be worn to the game. You have to body paint.
Sammy says the punishment has to be the 2023 AVN Adult Entertainment Expo, January 4th through the 7th in Vegas.
Sammy, the punishment would be my wife would be a lot richer because she would divorce my ass.
Yeah.
On January 4th through the 7th, I'd have papers waiting on me when I got back on the 8th.
Yeah, that would not go well.
Yeah, my wife would have no bueno of that.
Let's see. Okay.
We'll get it.
We'll get to all that in a minute. But again, Rain Total Body Fuel, at Rain Body Fuel on Instagram to learn more. We certainly appreciate Bob and everybody at Rain for all they've done. All right, we're going to get to picks and stuff in a little bit. I know there's some other things you want to talk about.
Yeah, I saw it again last night. I guess it was a guy from Auburn I saw yesterday on social media. These players that are entering the portal now, and it just goes to show you, and it's very frustrating, is that they don't have people around them giving them the correct advice, and they're making emotional decisions. Like, what are you accomplishing? Okay, you can't stop your clock, so the year's going to count regardless.
Right.
You can't go anywhere else and play right now. So the earliest you can go anywhere is in January. And then the people are like, well, you get your recruiting started a year ahead of time. Well, whoop-de-frickin' do.
Wouldn't you be better served stay in the program you're in,
you gotta
be a good soldier?
There's yeah, exactly. But there's a reason why you're not playing. Okay?
Right.
Coaches just don't go, man, you know what? You're a really good player, and we're screwing you.
Right.
They think you can't play, that you're not better than the people that are in front of you.
Right.
That's why you're not playing. So take that year, stay in the program, go to practice every day, and develop your skills. You can't afford not to develop for that period of time. And and it kills me every year. And as a coach, it used to drive me crazy. It was like, hey, we got these 15 bowl practices and these 15 spring practices, and you're going to develop and be a great player. Because you have 150 practices in the fall. So the fall is so much more development-wise than you're ever going to get in the spring or whatever. But it just blows my mind, and these people making emotional decisions.
Plus the weights and the nutrition and all of those things. I mean, you can, in the back of your mind, go, hey, I'm getting out of here in December. But you know what? I'm going to take these next 4 months, and I'm going to bust my ass. I'm going to do the best I can. I'm going to run scout team. I'm going to do all those things. I'm going to work extra. And in 4 months, I'm going to leave, and I'm going to be ready to go.
Right. And then you're more attractive of a prospect.
And then look, like let's say you're a defensive back, right? When you transfer and you're leaving a program like an SEC program,
yeah,
you're probably going down a level.
Right.
that coach is going to call the coach at SEC school.
Yeah, and if you
want him to go, you want that coach to go, you know what? I don't think he could have played for us, but I'll tell you what, his attitude this past year has been fantastic. He's really worked hard. He's a good kid, and we might be making a mistake letting him get out of here. Maybe that happens.
And then all you have to do is go to the coach. So if you're at wherever, Ole Miss, okay, you go to Lane and you say, hey, coach, I have intentions of going to the portal. I understand that I'm not going to be playing, yada, yada, yada. I don't want to use more than 4 games this year.
Yep.
And I'm going to go in the portal, and you just let them know that. And Lane's not going to screw the kid.
No.
You know what I mean? They're not going. Coaches aren't going to screw the kids intentionally.
Go
have a conversation and communicate.
Try to give them a good look on scout teams for a year.
Go work your ass off and be better. And then here's the other thing that really irritates me is these guys like, yeah, I'm going to transfer. I'm going to the league, dog. Well, let me tell you something. When it comes time for you go to the league, they're going to say, hey, why did you quit on your team? That's going to be a red flag. And it's just making emotional decisions that there's no benefit from it. I mean, the only benefit that you can have is you can go on a visit right now. Well, if you're that good, you can go on visits later. It makes no sense why, makes no sense why they're doing it now. So it bothers me that that's the advice that they're getting from people who don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
And it's really frustrating is because you're hurting the kid, not helping the kid.
Because the kids are making stupid emotional decisions in September. It's just idiotic. It makes no sense. If you're going to leave, cool. But you needed to get in the portal months ago.
Yeah, and it's just like, and everybody's like, oh, it's a business decision. No, it's not. Because if it was a business, you're hurting your business. You don't make business decisions being emotional. Decision. You don't. So,
but it's like anything. There are kids who surround themselves, sometimes intentionally, sometimes unintentionally, with people that either don't understand or don't have the kid's best interest at heart.
Yeah, it's
as simple as that. And it's the flip side, right, of some of the kids who are surrounded by really smart people, really good people who care more about the kid than anything else, and those kids typically make better decisions.
Yeah. So, speaking of business decisions, that's the other thing I want to talk about that was kind of alarming today.
Okay.
So I'm not going to tell who the kid is and all that stuff, but I'll tell you, he was committed. He's a DB that's committed to an SEC school.
Okay.
And we were doing his workup today, and doing his senior film and doing a cut and an eval tape and all. I started to say cut, but eval tape of the kid, and it's about the 4th one I've seen this week where a player really good as a junior, really good as a junior, and has gotten a NIL deal, I guess is probably the right word, and they're starting to make quote unquote business decisions in their play. They're playing not to get hurt. I'm talking about DB was coming up and just passing on contact. I mean, it was almost like he was doing everything he can, getting out of the way and doing things like that. And if you got a son that plays football or somebody plays football, let me tell you how you get hurt playing football.
Trying not to get hurt. Right.
The people who go full speed through contact, those people, you may get concussed every once in a while, and you may end up crazy like I am. But at the end of the day, you don't have a lot of major injuries if you go full speed through contact. It's the guys who let up. I coached receivers for years. Every year I lost 2 or 3 guys that got rolled up blocking a guy from behind or something like that. That happens.
Yeah.
But if you're going full speed, and keep your feet moving, and that's what I used to tell the receivers is they go to block a nickel or something, on a blitz, and there's a run his way, whatever it is, and that's why receivers love RPOs, by the way, so they don't have to get in there and get worried about the action rolling them up. They get rolled up, and I said, well, keep your feet hot. Stop worrying about looking behind you and seeing what's going on, and keep your feet hot, and you won't get hurt. But it's happened a lot, and this is really the first time I've noticed it being this bad. So many people are making business decisions instead of playing physical on Friday nights. And I was talking about this with you earlier, and you brought up a great point. How long does somebody signs a big NIL deal and forfeits their senior year?
Matter of time.
It's going to happen.
Matter of time.
Sad, man.
I mean, within 2 years.
It'll happen to somebody.
Although I did see where friend of the show, John Ruiz,
yeah,
was. I think he's doing a I don't know what the right word is. Basically, a symposium about NIL.
Yeah. Did it yesterday, I think.
I think so.
Yesterday.
There's probably a different word, that a webinar.
Webinar.
It
Yep.
was a webinar. Look at me. If you just give me a minute. He basically, and I don't want to put words in his mouth, obviously, but because I was reading, it was Ross Dellinger wrote about it. He basically was saying that, the market's going to adjust, that even he was going to adjust what he was doing, because basically you wanted to make sure that you get bang for your buck.
Right.
And not all of these NIL deals are going to result in bang for the buck, or not as much bang for as much buck, or whatever.
Yeah.
So some of this stuff is going to correct itself over time. And I still believe that the kid that bypasses his senior year, is going to regret it, because, God, you want to play your senior year.
You're running out of time.
And then that kid, whoever does that, like, because you would tell your son, no, you're going to play. Let's play. You want to play.
Yeah.
It's your high school friends. These are some of the best times of your life. You're going to remember these games. Go play. If you get hurt, we'll figure it out.
Right.
So the kid who does that is going to be the kid that is surrounded by people who are giving him bad advice.
Correct.
Which is going to lead to more bad decisions.
Yep.
So his market value, whether through his fault or the fault of the people around him or some combination thereof, is going to go down.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
No, it makes great sense.
And so you've known me a long time. I don't think anyone could ever call me altruistic, but I just think at the end of the day, I
have no idea what that means. I have no idea. You lost me there. I'm from
really
Alabama.
Optimistic.
Okay. All right, got you.
I don't think that where everything kind of has enduring value and it all works out. I don't think anybody would ever accuse me of that, but I do think this is going to sort of fix itself. I think the waters are going to settle.
Yeah, and look, I love what they're doing. We've said it before. I love what they're doing. That they're giving punishments.
Loser has to go to a nice dinner with a life-size cardboard cutout of Houston Nutt.
That's good stuff. I like it. But like what John Ruiz has done with, and that's why everybody, when the NCAA was going after him, what I always liked about it is, I'm just going to be honest. I did not know what Life Wallet was or anything about it until he started doing that. And then what did I do? I clicked on it. I wanted to see what it was all about.
Sure.
And so the amount of basically marketing attention he's brought to his company, and then it's going public, I feel like I know the company. You know what I mean? Like,
right, sure.
It's been worth the value for him. And people are like, oh, you're doing it, whatever you want to call it, but the guy's doing the right stuff. And for him to bring the value of the company to what he's doing with all the athletes there, I think it's great. And I think it's great that he's doing it with other programs as well. But yeah, I think it's going to correct itself a little bit, but I always have in the back of my mind that there's always going to be that one school that's going to want your kid really bad, and they're going to spend a lot more money on him than you're wanting to spend. Does that make sense? Like, that would always be my fear with a really good player, is because coaches get, and you know this, and I think this is what leads. This is an interesting fact for fans. I think one thing that leads to a lot of bad decisions in taking kids is coaches recruiting is right after the season. And so from a coaching standpoint, your competitiveness is at an all-time high.
Right.
I mean, your juices are flowing. And coaches get competitive with one another in recruiting and make bad decisions, not really about how good the kid is. They just want to beat I want to beat the other school recruiting them.
I want to beat Coach whoever.
Yeah.
For that
I used to get criticized a lot when I was at this school that's at a big rivalry in the state of Mississippi, and I'd be like, let him have the effing guy. He sucks. I was like, why are we breaking our balls trying to get this guy, and he's not very good? Let him go. Do you know how many times I was wrong, by the way? 0. And we took some of them, and some of them went there, and none of those players ever worked out, but both staffs are going at each other. I mean, just recruiting your ass off trying to get these kids. I'm like, they're not even that good. It was just the fact that the other school wanted them.
I can think of one that led to major issues for Ole Miss. Didn't get him, and it was all ego.
Yeah, I mean.
Leo Lewis.
Yeah.
There were people inside the building advising Hugh Freeze, let it go.
Well, I know where I was when all that was going on, and it was made because he was committed to us for a short period of time. And then when all that started, I was like, look, it's not even worth it. He's not that good. I mean, he's good.
Yeah, sure.
But it's not worth it. And anytime a kid, and I've been a big believer of this, and some people disagree with me. I don't care if you do or not. I've been doing it in life experiences. When kids have their hand out, very rarely do those kids turn out being great players. Now, people around them may have their hand out.
Right.
But if the kids got their hand out, very rarely does that kid end up being a good player because he's used to having everything given to him and not working for him. And so that's something I always looked at. All right, before we get this, the other thing I want to talk about, and I think you and I have a good perspective on this one, is the sensitivity.
Oh, yes, yes. Sensitivity of media and coaches and that relationship, and what people think outside about what that relationship is or should be.
Yeah.
Is fascinating.
It's very, I think, and
the loser has to attend a Cal football game wearing a MAGA shirt and hat.
That's dangerous.
I mean,
well, no, not at Cal. It wouldn't. They just it wouldn't be dangerous at Cal, but
they would look at you
hard. Would look at you hard.
They would.
Well, you'd be the only person in the stands, first of all, so you get TV, may get some TV attention.
You probably
that's pretty good.
That's not bad. It could get you hurt, but yes.
Yeah.
I don't want anything that could get you physically harmed.
Yeah. Yeah. You're probably safe out there though.
Good news is you'd have your mask on, so they wouldn't be able to identify you on television.
That could be bad for business. But I was thinking about this today, and I'm asking you because you have this perspective. I feel from a coach's standpoint that when social media came around like heavy in 2009, I guess 8, 9, really Twitter is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
I really didn't care what I said to the media or how controversial it was or bulletin board material, whatever you want to call it. I really did not care what I said before 2009. Because let's say like if you were in Mobile, right?
Yeah.
And you're working for the Mobile Press Register. And I said something about something. Well, I knew that the only people that were going to read that were the people picking up the newspaper that next morning or whatever, and if they decided to read it in the newspaper. Well, once things go to social media, at the click of the button, if it's controversial enough people will retweet it to where media has a national voice. Whether you're a national writer or not, you have a national voice or really a worldwide voice on social media. And I feel that when social media came around, coaches became even more guarded on what they shared with media. Do you see that from a media standpoint?
I'm trying to think.
Everything became cliche.
So for me, no, not really. But I'm a beat writer, and so I'm around the same people all the time. So who have I covered since 2009? I covered Houston Nutt, Hugh Freeze, Matt Luke, and now Lane Kiffin. And then in basketball, I covered Andy Kennedy and Kermit Davis. I've been blessed.
Yeah.
Even though Houston didn't like me, he would sometimes come over and talk, and I think he respected me as a reporter because he would come over and talk, and he was never disrespectful. He fed stuff to other media outlets and stuff. That was okay. That's fine. Whatever. And then Freeze and I. This is the funny part about Freeze and I is we got along.
Yeah.
I like Hugh Freeze. I do. I like Hugh Freeze. Did some stuff that happened that I wish hadn't happened, and things that got said I wish hadn't gotten said, and I wish stuff, but whatever. And then I had the utmost respect for Matt Luke as a coach, as a person, as someone to deal with. Now, Matt wasn't, for whatever, we've talked about this before, Matt would, sometimes I wished for his sake, frankly, that he could have put the guard down a little and been a little more open with media and kind of let his personality out some. But no, I never felt like he was super cliche-ish, maybe in the press conference settings, but like I hate those things anyway.
Right.
To me, those things are just abysmal. What I
Especially for what y'all do, because y'all know more than what. I mean, you're not saying anything in the press. That's what I'm talking about, right?
what I miss about so maybe what I miss a little bit is like back when I was covering Auburn, for example.
Right.
There was just more give and take. There was more of a relationship. And maybe you're right. Maybe this is pre-social media. I had to kind of talk through it and think it out. I do miss like being on the Auburn practice field and Tuberville coming over, saying hello, and where if I, for background, I could say, hey, what's going on with so-and-so and so-and-so? And I might get an answer, and it was kind of understood in that environment. Now, this is background. This is off the record, where I could say, because I knew we were going to talk on the record after practice. Can I ask you about that? Or I need to ask you about that. I don't want to put you in a weird spot, but I need to ask about that because I've got people asking me about X. Something's going on with a linebacker or whatever, right? And he would be like, yeah, so here's the deal. And here's what I can't really talk about because it's maybe a compliance issue,
right,
or whatever. Or here's what's going on. I know you're hearing stuff. Here's what's kind of going on. Here's why I can't talk about it. And with Tommy, to his credit, he would say, I know you got to ask me, so ask me. And when I kind of blow you off, it's here's why. Yeah. And I just can't really talk about it. And then I think that built trust, right? Because I could go burn him.
You just said the biggest word of the whole conversation, trust.
Yeah, I could go toast him. I could light him on fire and write it in the Mobile Register that night. It would come out the next morning, and he would see it and know that I burned him, and that'd be the end of our relationship. Instead, what he would see what I wrote, and I always despise when coaches go, I have no idea what you guys write. Yes, you do. Yes, you do, because you've got people in
it gets back to you.
You've got people in your ear telling you what so-and-so wrote.
It gets back to you.
Yeah, of course. So he would find out that, you know what, he handled that kind of subtly. He had to put something out because, I had to remind Tommy, hey, I've got bosses too, right? I mean, I get it. My job's not important to you and whatever, but I've got people over me that I've got to write something.
Right.
And so, I can think of a handful of examples of this where something was going on. It was a little controversial or whatever, because back then there was a lot of compliance stuff that would happen that seems not to happen anymore. And I'd write about it in a way that the really smart people might be able to read between the lines, but I didn't expose anybody. And he came over a couple of times like, hey, I appreciate the way you handled that. Thank you.
Yeah.
And it was like, and one time I remember he came over and goes, I wish you didn't have to write about this at all because I wish it didn't get written about, but I get it, and thank you for handling it the way that you did. Cool.
Yeah. I mean, I can think back, everywhere I've ever been, like here, okay? So here, and I know like with you, with Chase, and I know they're on the other site and all that stuff, but with you, with Chase, with Chuck, and this is me personally, okay?
Yeah, sure. You,
Chase, Chuck, David Johnson, and Ben Garrett. I could tell y'all anything, and if it was, I could trust you, like we were just talking about. Like, hey, look, I know you got to talk about this, but before y'all go criticize us or whatever for this is why we're having to do it that way. I know you can't say that, but it enabled you to write the story.
Sure.
Or, hey, look, this is gonna make you think this, but once this comes out, I don't want you to look. We helped each other. Besides, I guess that's 5 people. If I was at practice, how I'd come up to you at practice or a camp or whatever
Sure.
it was. If there was anybody else, okay, anyone else in that huddle, I never shared any kind of information. I could trust you. I could trust Chase. I could trust Chuck, David Johnson, and Ben Garrett. That's it.
Yeah.
And if it was anyone else, and before anybody asks questions, if there was anyone else, anyone, even in the vicinity of where we would be talking about how the Hawkeyes doing today.
Yeah, there were sometimes if there were people around, I wouldn't even come up to you, and because I didn't want to get into some deal where I was having to try to, because that's why I laugh at people when they're like, you have no idea. Like people are like, you and I had this conversation the other day. People will come up to you with me as the guy who covers Ole Miss, and the whole not a fan thing gets twisted into hatred. Screw that. Like if the football gods came down and go, hey, you get to pick what happens with Ole Miss's football team. Me? For my purposes, yeah. All right, let them win a whole bunch because my job's easier.
Makes your checking account look good too.
Yeah, it's good for my business. It makes my job easier. It makes the people that I'm covering are happier. I've covered happy people. I've covered unhappy people. It's easier to cover happy people. I know it's a shocker. It's easier to cover successful coaches who are having great seasons than it is to cover coaches who are going home every night and their wives are going, we're going to get fired, aren't we? I mean, I get it. You know, they're humans. But the flip side of that is that I always have been cognizant of, but I have no control over it, right?
Yep.
I have no control over whether Ole Miss wins or whether Ole Miss loses. I will not play. I'm not going to call a play. I'm not going to run a play. I'm not going to do it. I'm not part of it. And so if I allow myself to get emotional one way or the other, and hate is an emotion too.
Yes.
So people, you hate Ole Miss. I'm like, no, I don't. Because if I hated Ole Miss, I couldn't do my job.
Yeah,
and if I loved Ole Miss, I couldn't do my job. If I go to a football game, like when Ole Miss plays Texas A&M,
okay.
If Ole Miss loses by 4 touchdowns, I'm not saying they will. Let's just say, because shit happens in football. Let's say they just go get smoked. Okay?
They're going to lose a game this year that you have to write about.
If I'm emotional about it, I can't do my job. And I know of people, I have seen it happen where the team they cover got beat, and they were so upset about it that they literally couldn't write.
Yeah.
Couldn't stay in the press box. Well, I'm never going to be that guy. I'm going to be able to go back and write what I need to write, talk about it, because that's what people pay for. That's what they want me to be able to analyze it. In the same way that if I'm covering a game like where, can you imagine, or if I hated Ole Miss, right? I hate Ole Miss, and they go down to play LSU.
Yeah, but no big deal.
And I'm like, they're going to get smoked today, boy. This is going to be awesome. And then they play the lights out, and they win by 27.
They got lucky.
What am I going to do? Oh, they got lucky. They just, everything went their way. Come on, I'm not doing that. I mean,
it's not fair.
And I mean, the truth is, like we've talked about this. You know this. I had a lot of respect for Matt Luke and liked him personally. I mean, he's not dead. I like him personally, but I liked him as a coach. And so if you could have come down and said, hey, you get to control it, I'd be, well, what a cool story would it be if Matt Luke ended up being this great coach here and had this great 20-year run. I mean, I knew his family. I knew his niece well. She was over here all the time. She was just over here a few weeks ago. That would have been easier for me. I knew you. And covering recruiting was easy because I could, now that it's over, compliance can get over it, I could call you and go, who's coming in this weekend?
Yeah.
And you'd send me a list, and I could say, who on this list is realistic? And we could have that conversation. Who do I need to talk to? And I could say, hey, I know this kid came in. Y'all have any chance? And you'd be like, no. Okay, cool. I'm going to leave it alone. Well, that made my life easier. And I'm for anything that makes life easier.
And I respected all those 5 I mentioned. I respect you guys a lot. And anything y'all ever needed, I always tried to get. And just like I would send that list to you, I would also send it to David. That's who I communicated with about recruiting. I guess they've split sites and all that stuff now. But just, I mean, it makes my job easier too because, like you said, you put your story out there. It's a lot easier. And I appreciate, especially here is Ole Miss. When I say here, Ole Miss was a lot different than anywhere else I've been because the beat writers here, and it's just different. I think that's how a lot of things are going. But when I was at Alabama, okay, well, you got the Tuscaloosa News, you got the Birmingham News, you got ESPN's there every week. You got all this national news coverage. When you come to Ole Miss, everything like you guys are the media. Yeah. The occasional 1 or 2 big games a year, and then when you get national news in here, but that's kind of the relationship that you had there. Does that make sense? Sure. And
because I've been at both of those programs in Alabama, where I essentially covered Alabama in first half of 2007.
Yeah, and then you go to South Alabama, and you have my man Craig Stevenson. He's the only one that wants to cover us down there. But you get to know those people.
Those are the best jobs, by the way.
You get to know everybody. Kevin Tuberville at Arkansas State. You get to know the guys and respect them, and appreciate them, and you develop friendships because hell, you see them every day. But speaking of getting kicked out of here, I think I got the new Ed Orgeron kind of put. I didn't have this on there to talk about. You just reminded me. He kind of put how I feel about somebody asked me the other day how I feel about getting fired. It
was a great interview. He was at
how
the
great
Little
was that?
Rock. He was at the Little Rock Touchdown Club.
That's how I feel, though. Man, he put it into words for me. Imagine that. Ed Orgeron put it into words for me. But yeah, that's how I feel. Hey, we don't need your services anymore, but you got X amount of dollars left on your contract,
and we're going to give it all to you.
All right.
When do you want me to leave, and what door do you want me to go out of?
I remember cleaning out my office. I cleaned it out a little earlier. I don't want to tell Miss Fans this; they'll be upset with me. I cleaned out my office on Monday morning after we got fired on Sunday because I knew I was not going to be there. I actually came in, and the wife came in and cleaned everything out. I knew I was going to be gone one way or another, either on my own accord or somebody else's accord. So I came and cleaned out my office. It really freaked out the people that worked for me. I was like, what the hell did y'all think? After my conversation, I was kind of the same deal. Where would you like me to go?
Yep.
I like that check that came on the 31st of every month was very nice.
Papa B says, what should LSU do with the reporter who said we'll show up on time when you win? Nothing. Because here's the thing. Brian Kelly and Leah Vann have gotten to know each other over the course of the last, when did Kelly get the job? January? Over the course of the last 8-9 months. She covers them. She's a good reporter.
She felt comfortable saying that because they have that banter.
Yes, they have.
Somebody saw it and wanted clickbait.
Yeah. She actually wasn't even late. They started early, which never happens.
Yeah, it's a joke.
And
people are so sensitive, dude.
He made a joke, and she made a joke back, and then she got worried about it. That, oh God, it was on video. Because frankly, a lot of that stuff happens. That happens with, it doesn't with Lane, because Lane doesn't do that stuff. But it would happen with Hugh a lot.
Yeah.
With Matt to a lesser degree. With Houston a ton.
Matt would do it before the camera started rolling anyway.
Yeah. With Andy Kennedy, my God, it was every single press conference. Yeah. I mean, it was hilarious. And then we'd get started. And then sometimes what you guys don't see is when the press conference ends, especially with AK, sometimes, and Kermit does this too. Sometimes they stay there. We end up having conversations about other stuff. And so there is a relationship beyond the formal give and take. Leah did not mean that disrespectfully of Brian Kelly. And he did not, I don't think he took it that way. I promise you they're fine.
Yeah. I don't like I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just getting old curmudgeon or something, but the sensitivity of the world we live in, like I had a sign outside my door that said, check your feelings at the door. Don't take things so personal. And I tell everybody when I hire them, I told them when they work for me, I said, look, I'm going to have bad days. I'm going to come in, I'm going to snap, I'm going to say some shit I probably shouldn't be saying. I said, but don't take it personal. It's not personal. I never made anything personal. And just don't be so sensitive because I don't know. I just think people have gotten so sensitive about everything and they get their butt hurt and they get so emotional about things. I don't know why you can't just let it roll off your back. Just let it go. It's not even that big of a deal. But anyway, you want to get some NFL, dude? Yeah,
let's get to some NFL. First, I want to tell you that we're brought to you by Clean Side Wipes. They're the EPA 2021 Safer Choice Partner of the Year Award. It's EPA Enlist approved. It kills COVID in 30 seconds. It's the only one on the market that does that. Broad spectrum, hospital grade, antimicrobial efficacy. Citric acid base. There's no harsh chemicals. It's simple one step. No rinse, cleaning, and disinfecting. It removes film left over by harsh chemicals such as ammonia, bleach, and alcohol. It's they're germicidal wipes. They deliver powerful efficacy against pathogens without the potential harmful effects of other chemical disinfectants. In one easy-to-use wipe, great for schools, daycares and nurseries, hospitals, long-term care facilities, office buildings, households, and more.
We need to get him hooked up with the athletic departments.
I know.
Through Quick U. I need
there
to
get you go.
Brian Landis, my guy at Georgia State. Coach Elliott, we got to get him cleaning up Georgia State's facilities.
It's available in wipe and ready-to-use spray. For quantity, size, details, contact Todd Abbott at wipesandgloves@gmail.com. Pretty simple. Wipes, WIPES, and gloves at gmail.com.
That's all one word, right?
Wipesandgloves@gmail.com. Yes, sir. That's right.
Taken care of.
Hey, and we're also brought to you by our friends at Walk-Ons. Walk-On Sports Bistro puts everything they've got into bringing you game day with the taste of Louisiana. Dig into their mouth-watering, made-from-scratch Louisiana cuisine like po' boys, gumbo, and voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers, fresh salads, all in front of 70-plus TVs, 40-plus ice-cold beers on tap. Beer sounds really good right now.
Ooh.
Visit them today in Oxford or Ridgeland, Mississippi. And then don't forget, let Walk-Ons take care of all of your tailgating needs this season. Inquire today about their family and friends bundles, their tailgate platters. You can order online at walkons.com or go to their really convenient Walk-Ons app. I know you guys at QuickU put out an app the other day. Having a good app is a difference maker. Walk-Ons app is fantastic. So check it out. Put that on your phone and make sure you've got it. Makes it get some benefits when you next time you stop at Walk-Ons.
I may or may not be partaking in a bar trip to the tomorrow night and watch my man JRP light up Louisville.
I'm going to guess that means that you do plan to be taking a bar.
I may or may not. Yeah, I will. I'm going to sneak across the street again. I did it last week. I'll do it again.
Boy, Louisville laid an egg. Whew.
They owe me an apology.
They do. So. All right, so we're going to start with the National Football League.
Dude, how fired up are you tonight?
I love it. I love the NFL. I've told you I love the NFL. NFL Sunday, it's like I've got it down to a science.
I do too.
I love it. It's
I didn't really know what I was missing. You know what I mean? I never got to watch it. I mean, we would have it on and things like that. And dude, it's become
because Sunday's a work day when you're a college football coach.
Oh yeah,
you just don't have time.
You have a staff meeting depending on what staff you're on. But usually you have a staff meeting around 2:30 to go over grades from the day before. And so you're grading film. And so you may have it on the background, but you're not really watching. And if you do, it's like one game. And, dude, I've gotten the NFL Red Zone. I got the games going. NFL Red Zone, I don't know if you've watched that or not, has changed the way I watch football.
Yeah, I watch Red Zone. What I like to do, and sometimes I'll put Red Zone up on one of the TVs, but what I like to do is, I've told you this, I like to get done with my 10-weekend thoughts. And if there's any recruiting or whatever I've got to write, I want to get it done by 3:25
for the last game.
And then I want to go light my grill and turn on the games outside and relax. And when the weather starts getting cooler, I'll light a fire outside. It's my thing. And then I want to have everything cooked and all that so that when the night game comes on NBC, I can just chill and watch it. That's my deal. And so it just works. And I find it to be, number one, I love the NFL, everything about the games. I like the games. I like the uniforms. NFL uniforms, with a couple of exceptions, are fantastic. I like the product. I just like everything about it. And it makes for a very clean I wish college could figure it out. I know they can't because the game's not the same. But I love that that noon game is over by 3:10.
They're good at it, aren't they?
It's over by 3:10.
They gotta have somebody in the ear.
And the 3 o'clock games are going to get started at like 3:10. You're not going to miss hardly anything. Then the national games will get going at 3:25. So you're going to get the staggered finish. But they're going to get done by 6:30.
Well, you know what it is, right?
And so you're going to get that 30-minute break where you watch the pregame show for NBC's game, and it's going to kick off, and it's going to be over by 10:20. And you can get to bed at 10:20 and still feel fresh on Monday morning.
You know why they do that, right? Because the clock never stops in the NFL unless it's an incomplete pass.
Right.
So that's how they get away with it.
I like it. I prefer it. But frankly, the only knock I have on college football, and I love college football, you know that. The only knock I have on it is that some of the games go 4 hours, more than 4 hours, and it's just too damn long, Tyler. It is.
Depending on, and you know this before the game starts, how many TV timeouts there are going to be. And so depending on the network you're on and all that, like CBS games go forever because they have like two extra TV timeouts. I don't know. It just feels like it goes forever. Hey, I got a question for you. It reminded me a minute ago. Yep. I've been meaning to ask you this week, and I totally forgot. So when I came over to the house a couple weeks ago and we grilled out, you had like 87 pounds of bacon on your deal back there.
Yep.
Did you do anything with that bacon? Did that get eaten, or did you literally use that bacon to season your deal?
No, I used the bacon. Carson eats bacon.
Okay, so you ate the bacon.
I didn't.
Somebody did.
Carson did over the course of a week.
He ate all of that bacon in a week?
Yeah.
Holy shit. Are you serious?
Yeah, he plays He plays for 2 soccer teams, and he lifts weights. I mean, dude can eat.
Yeah,
he's 16.
He's 16.
He can eat whatever the hell he wants.
I mean, that was legit like 10 pounds of bacon.
It wasn't that much.
It was a lot.
It was a lot.
I mean, dude, it was something the size of this table filled with bacon.
Yeah, that was on my.
It was easy 50 strips of bacon.
What's the thing called Blackstone? It's on my Blackstone. Yeah, it was about 50 strips.
Well, I saw you put that up, and I was like, dude, are you so good at the grill that you literally just use the bacon to season the Blackstone?
No. We let it cool and then put it in a Ziploc with paper towel, and he'll get up and have 4 or 5 pieces. And then he's a kid. You know what do kids do? What do kids do when they come home from practice? Eat. And so sometimes he would grab bacon.
Yeah, my 14-year-old is in the deal of eating 2 dinners right now, so that's good. I love it, man. I mean, he doesn't need the citrulline and rain to get his metabolism going.
Well, I mean, you've seen him. I mean, he's if anything has a hard time gaining weight, but he's.
I smell it right now.
I do too. I mean, I was joking. I was in the press box the other day, and everybody was eating chicken tenders and nachos and stuff, and I was gaining weight, smelling it. I could feel my waistband expanding. I'm like, I'm not even eating anything.
I love it. All right. You ready to go NFL?
But if you run up and down a soccer pitch.
Did you just say pitch?
Pitch. Field. It's a pitch.
Field.
Okay,
right?
Soccer field. Okay. Good God.
We're in America, man. We've been watching too much Ted Lasso.
Hey, Tottenham. We won our first Premier League game. Champions League game. If you're doing that, you're running from, what do they practice? They practice from like 2:30.
Oh, yeah, dude.
2 to 3:45, and then he goes plays club. And so he runs for another 2 hours.
Yeah, no.
You run 4 hours, you can eat whatever the hell you want.
I'm retired, so if you see me running down the street, y'all stop and help me. Somebody's chasing me.
All right, here we go. NFL Week 1.
All right, you want to start off or you want me to start off?
5 picks. You won, so you get to start.
All right, so I'm starting. I have been advised against this, but I don't care.
Oh, defiance.
I have already placed my wager. I screwed up and did not place it yesterday. But tonight we got the Buffalo Bills. Minus 2.5 versus the defending world champions, Los Angeles Rams at 7:20.
Yes, sir.
And
here's my thing. They've been playing these games for 20 years, and the home team, which is the defending champ each year, has won 16 of them.
And I could give 2 shits. I'm going with the Buffalo Bills minus 2.5 against the Rams. Look, I think this is the year for the Bills, and here was actually my logic and when I went with this is I think the Rams roster, they've lost a lot of players, and they really haven't done a lot to replenish that roster.
Yeah,
and they're getting their older players getting older, which is not a good sign. The Bills on the flip side have improved their roster from last year. They actually added Von Miller from the Rams is now with the Bills. I think they're good on defense, and if the Bills are going to do it, I'm kind of like with them with Utah last week. If you're going to do it, let's go do it on the national stage, prime time. If you're going to be that deal, you got Allen, who's also on my fantasy team. You got Allen, who's a year older. I do, man. I think they go out there and beat them. I think it's going to be a great game. Stafford, they're already putting excuses out there with his elbow. NFL's tricky, but I'm taking Buffalo minus 2.5 tonight.
All right. I'm going to start off in the NFC South. I'm not scared of it. The Saints headed to Atlanta, giving 5.5, and I'm laying them. Give me the Saints. I'll lay the 5.5. I think Jameis Winston's going to have a really good season. I think Atlanta's bad. Saints have a really good defense. I'm actually pretty confident about this one. I like Jameis Winston, and I think he's going to prove people wrong this season. There you go.
For my pick, too, I also have the Saints.
There you go.
Minus 5.5 against the Falcons. Dude, I think I'm with you. I don't think the Falcons are going to be very good. They got Kyle Pitts, who is, if you got him in your fantasy league, he's probably going to be the only guy targeted, so you're going to get a lot of points there. But I'm not on this Marcus Mariota train. He runs.
Is anyone on the market outside of like Marcus's parents? Is anyone on the Marcus Mariota train?
Well, the Falcons were apparently. But I think this is one of those. I've been actually very impressed with Desmond Ridder in the preseason, and I'll be the first one to say I would be dead wrong on that. I didn't think he'd be a great pro quarterback, but he's doing very well in the preseason. I could see this being a situation where, because Mariota plays dangerous for the NFL. He runs and stays up and doesn't get out of bounds. He does all those bad things that an NFL quarterback shouldn't do.
Yeah.
I don't think this guy's going to stay healthy very long. I think Desmond Ridder ends up taking over this team, not in this game, but I just like what the Saints are doing, man. I think they got the right pieces. Even with Jameis, I like Saints -5.5 on the road.
All right, I'm going to stay NFC South. This is a hard one for me because, believe it or not, I'm a Jacoby Brissett fan. I like him, the person. Good dude. But I think he's on the wrong end of this matchup. I'm going to go with Baker Mayfield and the Carolina Panthers lay a 1.5 at home against Cleveland.
Did you look at my picks or something?
I did not.
My pick number 3 is the Carolina Panthers.
How about that?
-1.5 against the Browns. I think Baker Mayfield's pissed. And people can say what they want to say about Baker Mayfield. I like the guy.
That wasn't all his fault last year.
I know, but what I do, he's a competitor, dude.
Yes, he's a competitor.
And the last thing he needs is motivation. I mean, I'm all in. I want to see and hopefully, like, the reason I'm picking this is this will be the one game that Christian McCaffrey is healthy. We know he's healthy going in.
He's going to start healthy.
He'll at least start the game healthy. And when he is healthy, they are a good football team. So I'm going with the Panthers in the revenge game. The Browns are talented now. Minus the quarterback situation going on right now. But Jacoby Brissett's not a bad.
No, Brissett's a good player.
But at home, dude, I got to take the Panthers. Basically, you're saying they win. So I'm taking the Panthers as well.
My third pick, this is a hot pick for everybody. They're fast becoming one of the sexy picks in football to win the Super Bowl. And frankly, I think if you told me to put some money on like a mid-range pick right now, this is where I'd go. I'm going with my man Justin Herbert and the Los Angeles Chargers. I'm going to lay 3.5 at home against the Raiders.
My fourth pick is also, but I got good news for you. They're -3 right now. So
okay, well, I'll take the half point.
Take the half point. Sure. I also have the Chargers versus the Raiders game. I'm taking the Chargers at home -3. I think the Chargers, everybody's talking about Justin Herbert. They got a good defense.
It's the other side of the ball. I think Khalil Mack makes a difference for them in much the same. Well, he was on such a bad team. I think he makes a difference for them in a similar way that Von Miller did for the Rams last season, where he stabilized that defense.
And who's on the other side?
Watt.
Bosa.
I was listening. I meant Bosa, and Bosa's there too. I was listening to an interview with the Chargers coach. He was talking about how Mack's presence has served as a motivating factor inside that defense. There's some guys that are like, hey, I want to prove that I belong on the same defense with this guy. And they said it's also really sharpened Herbert's game.
Yeah, I mean, you better not hold on to it at practice. I mean,
they're not hitting him, obviously, but you
still got to get rid of it.
But you've got those guys charging in on you, and you're aware of them.
But here's the other thing: is Waller's in a contract dispute. He hadn't really practiced the whole deal. He's hamstring, and I don't think they're working it out for him. And then the other thing is so Josh McDaniel, the new head coach of the Raiders, and this is what I'm banking on anyway. He's always at New England or wherever he's been is kind of running back by committee, and that was the one position. They had Josh Jacobs, they had Kenyon Drake, and these guys are getting out of there. Josh Jacobs is they're not going to pick up his 5th-year option. They're kind of throwing it away. That's also, I went to Hunter Renfrow on my fantasy team because I think he's going to get fed, but I don't think Hunter Renfrow is going to be the answer to beat the Chargers, so I'm with you on that one.
All right, my fourth pick, and I love this one. I love it. Frankly, I love all these picks. We'll see. In NFL, you're going to look stupid at some point. I got the Dallas Cowboys at home getting 2.5 against the team that everybody's picking, and I don't understand why. I got Dallas getting 2.5 over Tampa Bay.
You don't understand why people like Tampa Bay?
Well, but look, man. Please.
Same reason people like the Packers.
Father Time.
Dude, that guy's Benjamin Button. I mean, there's got to be a time when he shuts it down, but
he missed some camp. They have some injuries. I think they're vulnerable here.
You know where his biggest loss is going to be his center? Was it Jensen or Jansen?
Jensen's gone. One of the offensive guards has gone to Cincinnati. That line's kind of remade. He got hit a lot late last season, and now their line's not as good. I don't know. Not ready to go there. I like Dallas here. I know Dallas has some injuries. I'll tell you this. I love the under in this game.
Okay. I like it. I actually like the pick because I guess I have to be a pseudos Cowboys fan now because my man Nussmeier is coaching quarterbacks there, and then I got Sambo and Jalen Tolbert on there. So I got a lot of offense, defense. I'll be watching that game. All right.
Your fifth game.
My fifth game. All right, I'm going just what we were just talking about. I got the Packers minus 1.5 at the Vikings.
I looked at that one.
All right, a little nervous about this one, but basically what I'm saying is the Packers just have to win the game.
Yeah.
You got Aaron Rodgers, dude. I mean,
you know what scares me about this one is that
because the Packers got nobody to throw to.
Well, and Green Bay opened the season last year with that absolute dog of a game against New Orleans. I think the game was in Jacksonville. They just got pummeled, and I kind of wonder if that's a sign of slow starts, whatever, with Green Bay. They got better as the season went along.
But they're good on defense.
They are.
They're good on defense, and you got Aaron Rodgers. But the actual concern is obviously got rid of Adams is going to the Raiders.
Yeah.
And everybody else, all their other receivers are banged up and hurt and missing practice. But look,
Minnesota's not a bad team.
I'm taking it. Minnesota's good. I'm taking the Packers.
All right, I thought about two here, but I'm going with this one. I'm going with the Washington Commanders minus 2.5 at home against the Jacksonville Jaguars. I know Jacksonville's going to be better. I think Washington is going to be a sneaky good team this season. I think they're going to be in the mix for a playoff spot, a wild card spot in a kind of shaky division. If you told me there was a major upset division winner in the NFC, I might go with Washington in the East.
I'm a big Washington fan because of that may be the NFL team that I got the most former players I've ever coached on. Feels like I got like 10 on there. I'm a Commanders fan, so I did not pick that game, but I like the pick.
The one that I thought about, had we done a money line with an NFL money line, the money line I was going to play with is Arizona at home against Kansas City. They're a 6-point dog. And I thought, if I was going to go with an underdog game, home opener, Kyler Murray, lot to prove, explosive offense, Kansas City still adjusting to a new offense without Tyreek Hill and all that maybe that'd give me a chance. And I know it's risky to bet against Patrick Mahomes ever, but if you were looking for the big dog to give you something.
You probably won't get some value on it.
And the other one I thought about was from a point spread standpoint, I don't hate Pittsburgh plus 6.5 with that defense against Cincinnati.
Is it the jersey you're wearing?
It does look like a Steeler jersey, but I'm a Bengals fan, so.
Yeah. All right, was this my last game or fifth game? This is my last game.
You're done.
No, I got one more.
Oh, okay.
This is my last
I thought
game.
you picked 5.
I did pick 5.
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah, I had 6 games down here.
So to recap, I've got New Orleans minus 5.5, Carolina minus 1.5, the Chargers minus 3, Dallas plus 2.5, and Washington minus 2.5. Those are my 5 NFL picks.
All right, my 5 are Buffalo minus 2.5 at the Rams, the Saints minus 5.5 at the Falcons, the Panthers minus 1.5 at the Browns, the Packers minus 1.5 at the Vikings, and the Chargers minus 3 versus the Raiders. So I'm going to save this pick for Monday. Remind me Monday because this is a Monday Night Football pick.
Okay.
I got a pick on that game.
All right.
I can't count.
We're going to get to our college picks in a second. We'll remind you we're brought to you by Reign Total Body Fuel, 300 milligrams of natural caffeine, BCAAs, electrolytes, and zero sugar. It's got what you need to push the limits, achieve your goals. Check them out on Instagram at Reign Body Fuel to learn more. Don't forget, I've had a lot of people asking me, hey, I can't find it in Oxford. Number one, that's good news. That means people are buying it. It's readily available on Amazon. So order you a case.
Yeah, it's Oxford it's like a scarce Reign product right now. Their just shelves are empty.
Who says podcast advertising?
Yeah, who says it doesn't work? I went to so Monday. I went somewhere and I saw the guy was actually putting it in the gas station I was at. Was actually loading it up. Went back today. All of them actually gone. I'm talking about 60 or 70 cans gone. So they're doing good there.
You've never been dragged to a Hobby Lobby in your life?
No, I have
I'm
no idea what that is.
Hey, tip of the cap, sir.
What the hell is that?
Hobby Lobby, it's one of those places they have like lots of
golf
crafts and no. It's like a lot of crafts and knockoff knickknacks and stuff.
Do I look like a Hobby Lobby guy to you?
Well, hell no, but that doesn't mean that your wife's never dragged you into one. Do I look like a Hobby Lobby guy? My wife's dragged me into one before.
Nah.
Miserable.
I'm not.
Miserable experience.
Yeah, we've been together too long. She knows better than that.
All right, let's get into the college games.
Here we go, baby. Let's get some juice.
Am I going first? Or
I'll let you. I'm going to defer to you.
All right. First, I'm going to tell you that I vowed not to pick SEC games, so I won't, but there are 3 or 4 that I love. We'll talk about them in a minute if Tyler doesn't have them on his list. My first one, UTSA. And, Coach, listen, I'm sorry. Tyler's wearing the shirt. Coach Nuke, I love you. This is not personal.
Frank, thanks for the shirt, by the way.
It's not personal. Frank is awesome. He sends stuff to me and Carson all the time. But I got to make up a game here somewhere. UTSA minus 2.5 at Army.
I don't hate it. I hate it for Frank, but I don't hate the game.
I worry about it a little bit. There's not a ton of non-SEC games that I just love this week.
The trick is you never know how those teams are going to play defense against the option.
Right.
That's the trick. And, like, Memphis has got one against Navy. You don't know. They could have a great plan and go in there and shut them down, or they could give up 60.
Memphis sucks.
So, but all right, my first pick.
Yep, here we go.
All right, that I very quickly, when I looked up the line today and saw that this line had moved a half a point, very quickly did I place a wager on it.
Okay.
To keep it from moving the other direction. I have purchased a ticket for the Alabama Crimson Tide at minus 19.5 against the Texas Longhorns.
Dun, 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 dun,
So
dun, dun,
I will be.
dun, 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 dun,
You know, that's one fight song I never learned all the words to, even though we sang it every week. I think that's just, I'm going to bet again. I told you last week, I'm going to do it every single week, just so you guys know on here, every single week that Georgia and Alabama plays.
Yep.
I am going to take them to cover their spread until they lose.
Okay.
That's what I'm going to do.
There you go. It's a stand worth taking.
I'm going to do it. By God, I'm going to do it. So Alabama minus 19.5 at Texas.
I actually like that a lot.
I think Texas front's going to struggle, offensive front.
I'm going to stay inside the state of Texas here, but not the Horns.
Oh.
I'm going to go.
You're going to do it.
I am. I'm going to go my son, he bees a Coug, Houston, plus 3.5.
Okay.
In Lubbock against Texas Tech.
I like this pick.
My Uncle Alton used to live in Houston, and he said he was joking, but he would make fun of Houston alums. He'd say, my son, he bees a Coug.
I like that pick.
And now I have a nephew who's going to the University of Houston, so there you go.
My man Doug Belk is the defensive coordinator there at Houston. Good friend of mine.
You like it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that pick.
All right. What you got?
All right, pick number 2. All right. I'll have to pick this because you'll never pick this. I'm going heavy, and I will probably lose heavy because I said this, and everybody's going to give me shit and troll me forever. I love the Arkansas Razorbacks, minus 8. I got them at minus 8 and locked it in.
Okay.
Versus South Carolina. So I went back and watched the games.
Yep.
After my painkillers and all that stuff wore off, South Carolina really struggled up front offensively. I think they're going to give Spencer Rattler fits. You know, the reason they opened that game up is they blocked 2 punts late against Georgia State. Georgia State got after them on defense. She kept them under 100 yards rushing, and I think I got Arkansas by 1 million. I think it's going to be 1 million, whatever it takes.
A lot of TV timeouts.
And I'm not the only person that thinks that after watching film.
No, I know you're not.
I like Arkansas big in this game.
I do too. I like Arkansas by double digits in this game.
Put it like this: if I'm wrong, so are about 14 coaches that watch the game on film.
Yeah, I know. Yep. I know a lot of people there's a lot of people in football circles that think this is. It's not disrespect towards Shane because people really like Shane and they think he's going to do a good job. They just don't think they're ready for this. And I think Arkansas is going to be.
I think Arkansas is legit.
I think they're solid.
I know what you got to say. They're solid, even if you thought they were legit. I think they're legit.
Well,
I don't give a shit.
I don't know that KJ's ever going to make them quote legit because KJ makes mistakes in the passing game that I think prevent them from taking the next jump. That being said, that sumbitch competes.
Yeah,
he competes.
Yeah, I
love Sanders the back. They've got more weapons. What's interesting about Arkansas this year, they don't have the weapon.
It's made them better
that they had last year with Burks
because they have to distribute the ball.
But he has more weapons.
They have it. This makes them harder to defend. If that makes sense.
Yes.
I like it. I'm all over that.
And they're pretty good up front. And if they get a little better up front, they're going to be scary. All right, my next one. I got the University of Louisiana at Lafayette, minus 13.5.
They don't like that anymore, by the way.
I don't care. As you would say, I don't give two shits. University of Louisiana at Lafayette.
I'm rubbing off on him, Mom.
Minus 13.5 at home against Eastern Michigan. I love this one. I think ULL wants to prove nothing against.
What time is that kick?
6 o'clock at NFL Network.
Remind me to tell you a story one day. We don't have time today about playing at ULL at 2:30 in the afternoon.
I think while they love Billy Napier and all those guys that were there. I know it. They want to make sure they prove that, hey, the whole program didn't leave when he left.
Yeah, no, they left it. It's in a good spot.
Left a bunch of good players, left a really good culture. They kind of picked up where they left off, and I think they win big against Eastern Michigan.
It's going to be a little warm on that turf, too.
Ooh, don't you know.
Remind me to tell you a story one day. All right, I'm staying in the SEC since you're outside the SEC. Another game I love. I'm saying I love all these games. I'm going to end up freaking going over.
I hope so.
I think Tennessee's about to put a 50-burger
I do too.
on Pitt.
I do too.
Last week with Virginia Tech, they kind of got in rhythm and kind of scored at West Virginia, excuse me. Kind of got in rhythm with JT Daniels and started scoring at will, and they lose the game because they throw a wide open route on a comeback, or inside comeback, and a ditch route to be exact, and it just goes right through his hand and they win the game. The difference is Hendon Hooker is not a standing statue like JT Daniels. And so when Pitt can get pressure on him, Hendon Hooker's going to be able to leave the pocket and do some things.
He can hurt you with his feet.
He can hurt you with his feet.
For sure.
I think Tennessee.
I like him. I think he's a good player.
And look, I think Pitt's going to be okay. I think, Tennessee's defense, there's some question marks to be answered. I just think Tennessee outscores them.
Yeah, I think Tennessee's defense is ultimately going to cost them in games against really good SEC teams. But this is not a really good SEC team, and I think they can just outscore.
And then Pitt's trying to change a little bit what they're doing offensively. Whipple left to go to Nebraska, and they're a little bit too much pro style. It's going to limit them score, and I think Tennessee puts a 50-burger on them. I could see this being 54-30 or something. You know what I mean? Yeah. I just think they beat them by 6.
Lots of points.
I like Tennessee minus 6.
All right, my next one. I think these two teams are going to be in the same conference in a few years, but they're not right now. Oklahoma State minus 11 at home against the Sun Devils of Arizona State. I think Oklahoma State's going to be a really good team, and I think we're going to start to see it Saturday.
I think that's a really good pick, and I think you got value with that pick. A lot of people are pissed at Oklahoma State for not covering against Central Michigan last week, but they took out all their guys. I mean, they were up 50-15 or something when they took out everybody out. I think you're going to hit that one. I feel good about that one.
Hey, a public service announcement, because this happened to me today, and it's out now. There's a scam that's going on out there, and it's really well done.
Okay.
You get a text, like I'm expecting a package from USPS today. Okay?
All right. Every day at my house.
I got a text message from, quote, USPS. That my package was undeliverable because the addresses didn't match. And it took me to a link that looked exactly like USPS.
Ooh.
And if you fill out the first page of the link, the second page asks for, it says, is it a redelivery fee? And I'm like, whoa, hold up. And I went and dialed the number, and that was a scam and stuff. But you could see how someone, A, in a hurry, or be frustrated, or an older person could fall for this, and with all your credit card information on your phone, it's so easy to punch it in. Be careful that's out there. Just a public service announcement.
Public service announcement. If you ever have to click a link from a text message, don't click the link.
Yeah.
I mean.
But you can see how that could happen to somebody in a hurry, frustrated, needing that package, being excited about that package, whatever the case may be. So be careful. That's just my
I get one every other day about my Amazon account's been deactivated. Click this link.
Yeah.
All right. I'm staying inside the SEC. I don't know how popular of a pick this is going to be. I have the Kentucky-Florida game. Florida is now favored by 6 points.
Yep.
Against Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go ahead and put the bet in at minus 6 with the Florida Gators. Now, let me tell you what I'm going to do personally. All right, just so everybody knows, I'm going to hold this thing out until they kick off at 6 o'clock on
Saturday
night. I think it will be bought back down a little bit.
Okay.
So I'm going to personally hold off. I will be keeping tabs on it. If it ever gets to 6.5, I'll go ahead and get it. But I think people are going to buy it down a little bit. It started at 4.5, somewhere in there. I think it'll go back down. But I'm taking Florida over Kentucky. I went back and watched the games really close. Here's kind of where I'm at. I think Kentucky's skill players on both sides, okay? I think on the offensive side, I think everybody they have, they're really good, and they've improved in skill positions, right?
Yeah.
The running back's suspended still.
Yeah.
Have you talked about that yet?
We talked about it this morning, yeah.
Will Levis is the real deal.
Yeah, he's a stud.
But here's the thing is the coordinator came from the NFL, and he's trying to do a lot of pro-style stuff with him. And by doing that, the protections, he's leaving his tackles in one-on-one situations, and somebody's getting beat. They're just not very good up front, especially at the tackle position. And some of the guys are getting walked back in or whiffing. And where's Florida's strength? Florida's strength is the front seven on defense.
Yeah.
I think that's the difference. On the other side, Kentucky's downs were getting washed by Miami of Ohio. Well, they're fixing to go into the swamp, and that crowd is going to be at an all-time frenzy high. They're excited down there. I think this is a 14-point game. I got Florida -6. I think they win by 14.
I took Florida and laid the points in Neal's picks, but I'm not crazy about it. Yeah. All right, my fifth one. I'm big on Texas. God, I've got 3 Texas schools.
Dude.
And Lafayette basically is Texas.
Did you get an NIL deal or something?
I need one. I mean, listen, I'm easy to reach. Texas State -14 at home against FIU.
You're picking on my Quick U clients and Mike Mack? I mean.
Not pick. I just.
No, I'm with you, man. Look, it's going to take Mike Mack some time. He took San Jose State over, and they were the garbage can of the world when he got out there and won with those guys. He's building a program. He's doing it his way. He's recruiting well, and it's just going to take him some time. He's he'll end up doing very well there because of where he's located and how he recruits. I mean, you can throw a rock and hit anybody, hit 15 players. Where in Miami. So I'm excited about what they're doing, but yeah, I think they're a little ways away.
All right, what's your 5th pick?
All right, I have 2. I'm going to have to decide right now.
Yes, you do.
All right, I'm doing it. I'm going I'm going to bust out my cowbells, which I don't have any. I'm going to find one. I'm taking the Mississippi State Bulldogs -10.5.
I like it.
At Arizona.
Like it.
All right.
Yep.
I think what were they, 35-3 the other day before they started taking. And here's the deal: everybody talks about the offense. Dude, they're good on defense.
I know. Listen, Mississippi State's going to have something to say about what happens in the West. People can make fun of that all you want. Like, I think that I think the teams I'm about to say are going to beat State. Okay.
Yeah.
But none of these games are going to be easy. I think LSU is ultimately going to beat State. I think Auburn's going to beat Mississippi State. I think Ole Miss is going to beat Mississippi State. But none of those are gimmies.
Yeah,
in fact, let me go one further.
Yeah.
The only team in the West that is a sure thing against Mississippi State this year is Alabama.
Yeah, I agree.
That's it.
I think they took – I guess this is where I'm at is I think they took, in my mind, and I just – because I'll tell you when I think I'm wrong. At the beginning of the season, when you go through people's schedule, and you say, okay, they're going to be – they're going to come down to the Egg Bowl, and that game's going to decide if they're going to get to 6 wins or not. That's kind of where I was at preseason. But then you go back, you watch them play, and like, God, like they were – and it wasn't that they were playing Memphis. It was that their execution, their talent level.
They're in year 3 in that system.
Year 3 in the system.
With a third-year quarterback that he really likes.
They got 9 returning starters on defense.
And he's super accurate, and if you let him just play intermediate, he's good. Now, against certain SEC teams, that won't work.
Yeah, and I guess my point was this, is that you were worried at the beginning, okay, they're going to have to outscore people. And so I took the games that I were giving them guaranteed losses on, and now they're 50-50 games. Does that make sense?
Yeah. State goes to LSU next week. Someone says Mach 10 Sports says they're -1 in Vegas right now against LSU next week.
That's my man. That's my man, Dave Shoemate. Yeah,
Hey, Dave. What's up, Dave?
Yeah, dude,
There's some interesting games next week.
And here's the other thing: is it's a late game. There'll be so much money bet on this game. So, and I imagine it's going to go on the Mississippi State side. So if I were a betting person and you have any interest in betting Mississippi State, I would go ahead and lock that in because everybody's going to lose their ass during the day, and that's a late game. There's going to be a lot of coin put on that game to watch on TV late on Saturday night.
Pulling up next week's schedule for some reason. Just bear with me.
Yep,
I'm a little curious. I know some of next week's schedule. I just haven't memorized it. Let's see. Schedule week 3 in the SEC. So next week we get Georgia at South Carolina, Youngstown State at Kentucky, Abilene Christian at Missouri, Ole Miss at Georgia Tech, Penn State at Auburn. That's a game. That's the CBS game. Vanderbilt at Northern Illinois. Got a rematch of ULM at Alabama. God bless us. Mississippi State at LSU.
That's got to be the 2:30 game.
It's the 5 o'clock game on ESPN.
Okay. What the hell's the 2:30 game?
Auburn Penn State.
Oh, they're going to do that CBS?
Yeah, Auburn Penn State CBS. Ole Miss Georgia Tech is ABC.
Yeah.
2:30. Missouri State is at Arkansas. Akron at Tennessee. South Florida at Florida, and then Miami at Texas A&M, an 8 o'clock game on ESPN.
All right, I'm going to be watching the Miami Hurricanes very close this weekend. They're playing Southern Miss to the top. I think they're 25-point favorites at home against Southern Miss.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have a hot take for you next week.
Okay.
I'm watching. I'll just put it like this: I'm watching that Miami game really close. I'm gonna have a hot take for you next week.
Okay.
I got to be careful.
I almost feel like I know what's coming. It's exciting. It's like Christmas Eve or something.
Quick U versus quick U, so I got to be careful. But
okay,
I like where that one's going.
All right, my money line upset pick of the week. I'm going with my buddy Kane Womack and the South Alabama Jags.
Let's go.
I've already reached out to get a little affirmation, and I got some, so I feel good.
Okay.
South Alabama is a 5-point dog. I'm not sure what the money line is. Maybe you can find it. 5-point dog at Central Michigan. I'm going with the Jaguars winning straight up.
You know I'm not going to hate that, right? Because that's my one. It's my man Kane, too. It's Quick U client. They look good. I watched them last week.
Yeah, they look real good. They are good.
Yeah, they got it going. They're going to sneak up on. They're going to beat somebody they're not. They go out to. That may be another one I got to be ready for next week because I think it's week 3. They go out to UCLA next week.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Oh,
watch out,
I might ride it twice in a row.
You better watch out.
I might get on the Jaguar train because I can't wait another few days. You kind of like Miami over A&M, is that right?
I said I got to watch the game. I want to watch it. I need one more week before I get crazy.
Okay.
I got to have one more week.
Kind of felt like I was getting teased a little bit.
So just for the record, South Alabama is plus 170.
Grind says South Alabama about to get blasted. Come on, stop.
Grind. Come on. That's my guys. They really are. They're good. Got a great staff and good players. All right. My money line pick of the week.
I know what's coming. I'm about to get really angry. My mood's about to totally change. This is going to test our friendship right here. Go ahead. Say it. Get it out.
I'm taking the Quick U Iowa State Cyclones at plus 155 against the Iowa Hawkeyes. And I don't even think it's going to be particularly close. I think it's going to be like a 7-2 game.
I'm going to give you a stat. Since 1987.
Oh, you can't prepare for this.
I'm sorry. Since 1897.
You getting serious? You got your reading glasses on.
I do. Since 1897, teams whose offense gained less than 170 yards and did not score 4+ offensive points are 7 and 17. No, 7 and 17,456 and 4. They've won 7 times, lost 17,456 times, and tied 4 times.
Hey, was the forward pass invented before those other 6 happened?
Hold on, we're not done. I'm not done. You've been disrespectful. Try to curb your disrespect. Iowa owns 6 of those 7 wins. The other was Yale in 1903 beat Providence YMCA, not Providence, but Providence YMCA, 3-0. The Hawkeyes have played in 10 games. Listen to this, 10 games where the offense gained less than 170 yards and did not score 4 or more offensive points. Would you like to guess Iowa's record in those 10 games?
I bet you're going to tell me.
6-0-4 We've never lost one of those games.
But more impressively, you tied 4 of them.
The rest of the country has a .0057 winning percentage. In other words, everyone's making a freak out just because we punted some. People are freaked out because we didn't score. We got a couple of defensive safeties. My point is that this was familiar territory for us. We're fine. We've also dominated the series against your boys in Ames, and we're going to do it again Saturday. That's all I'm telling you.
Hey,
Iowa, I should have made this my giant upset pick of the week. Iowa
can't be an
beats Iowa
upset.
State.
Your favorite.
Well, then we're going to roll Iowa by we're going to score at least 10 points. Iowa's going to win the game. There you go.
Hey, I wonder if like how like the fans get excited when you sign a 5-star running back and all that stuff. I wonder if do y'all get really excited when you sign a really the Ray Guy punter of the year in high school?
Hell yes, we do. Hell yeah.
We got the best punter, by God.
I mean, our punter is out there, and he's phenomenal. Did you see some of his punts last week?
Well, dude,
did you see our defense? We did. Look, here's the thing. And we've proved this statistically. We don't need offense. Sometimes the best play on third down is punt the ball. We punted from the who we play, South Dakota State. We punted from their 37. Everybody made fun of it. Guess what? It worked. Okay, we know what we're doing.
So
the offensive coordinator, he might have a job because his dad's the head coach, but that's beside the point.
Hey, they found what works. But hey, how about this? We went and played Iowa when I was at Arkansas State.
Yeah,
we had this guy named Demario Davis that was a backer who was not a very good person, but it was before his change.
Yes.
But we lose 23-21. I think we lost to him.
Yeah.
But the most interesting thing because we were spread and we're out. It was really at the start of the movement of going spread and doing all that stuff. Iowa did not substitute a defensive lineman the entire game. That's only happened twice. Pitt didn't do it in the bowl game here when we played at the BBVA Compass Bowl.
Yes.
They didn't. They had Aaron Donald on offensive line or defensive line too, but they didn't sub. But not only did they not sub a defensive lineman, they stayed in base personnel the entire game. They stayed in 4-3 personnel, and so I had Dwayne Frampton, who was my slot, and he ends up catching like 117 balls where it was. This guy's like 5'9", like a $165.
Yeah,
and that's when the RPOs weren't as popular, and you had to do a lot of blocking on the perimeter. Well, they had a 6'6", 250-pound Sam Backer out there, and he was having to block in space. And you couldn't cut back towards the ball and all that stuff. And after the first series, we ran some outside play, and he blows Framp up, and I'm giving him shit and getting after him pretty good. And he's like, "Hey," he says, "that's fine." He goes, "Yell at me one more time." He goes, "I'll get his ass blocked. He ain't going to have no kneecaps, but there's going to be a 15-yard penalty that comes with it. They'll sub his ass in." So his strategy from the rest of the game, and he never got called. He cut him, and he's like, "I'm begging the guy." He says, "You want to stop? Throw a flag." He says, "I'm begging the guy to throw a flag." He goes, "So y'all change? Y'all won't call the play no more." But yeah, Frank was out there cutting the shit out of this guy. And they just never changed. They refused to change. They will not change. And it almost got them beat. If we had a better team, we would have beat them.
Did you see how good our long snapper was last week? I mean, we pointed that out in the
great operation time.
I mean, so efficient.
Yeah.
I mean, how many punts did we get blocked?
Oh,
not a damn one.
Oh, well, you shouldn't. You practice it enough. I mean, that's probably like most teams practice punt like 5 minutes a day.
Well, let's put it this way: on our play card,
a 25 period.
Like I always hear coaches go, we only have a certain number of second and long plays. Well, Iowa has several.
Yeah.
And one of them is punt.
Yeah, just punt.
And so, hell, 1st and 10 punts on the card.
Okay.
Think about it.
There's nothing wrong with that. Big Ten at its finest. But they were not going to change. I love it.
So I'm going with Iowa.
You got any more games that tickle your fancy? I know that's it. That's our officials.
I'll tell you the game that I'm super interested in. I'll tell you a game that I like from a betting standpoint. I love Auburn -23 against San Jose State.
I do too.
I love it.
My man Robbie Ashford tearing it up.
He is tearing it up. I'm interested. Like I think this is a treat for fans. I won't get to watch it much because I'll be riding, but an entertaining game that I think will tell us a lot about some teams is Baylor at BYU.
So that was the game that I had circled that I had to choose between that and Mississippi State. I love Baylor +3.5.
Yeah, I do too. I like Baylor on the road at BYU.
Baylor's good, dude.
Baylor's good. I think BYU is good.
Too.
I think BYU's good. I think we're going to find out a lot about kind of both teams, and we'll get a little idea about what the Big 12 might actually look like.
Oh, you're going to do that.
Because if I'm right about Oklahoma State, and I think I am, I think they're good. And I think Oklahoma's good. I don't think Texas is that particularly good. But I think Baylor's going to be really good. I don't know why people continue to sleep on Dave Aranda's teams. They've kind of proven it to us now. That kind of gets interesting moving forward.
Yeah.
But, yeah, if the Big 12 is what I think it is and Baylor wins this game, it's going to be a really nice line on their resume because BYU's an older, veteran team. They went down to USF and just beat the hell out of them. But USF's not good.
Yeah, they will physically dominate some of those games. I don't know, man. I like Baylor in that game. What do you like in Kansas State? Where'd you end up going? Kansas State, Missouri.
I went Kansas State and laid the points. I'm the only one in our picks thing at rebelgrove.com that did it. I laid the 8. I don't know. It's a weird game.
I think Missouri is better at some of the skill positions. I think they went backwards at quarterback. That's where I don't know what people saw that they liked what they saw against Louisiana Tech.
You know what's interesting is that Bazelak, Missouri runs him off. Bazelak goes to Indiana and played really well.
We talked about that this morning. I couldn't remember because I never could pronounce his name. But he looked good.
He kept them in that game. Look, if they kind of get average quarterback play against Illinois, they get blown out.
Yeah.
Because Illinois, you can say what you want about Illinois and about Brett Bielema and all the fat jokes and all that stuff. I get it. It's fine. Whatever. Cool. It doesn't bother me. I like Brett, but whatever. Right. They're physical. Illinois plays a physical brand of football.
They do.
They're not – I'm not saying they're great before anybody doubles down on them.
Almost took them this week.
When they go 5-7, I don't want to hear it, but – They're not a pushover anymore. And a few years ago, Illinois was a pushover in the Big Ten. That was a freebie. I can remember driving through Champaign in 2016 on a game day on the way back from the World Series. Illinois had an 11 a.m. game, and we were passing through Champaign at around 10. And it was like there were signs everywhere like free tickets. You want a ticket? Stop.
Everybody gets a car.
I mean, they might pay you to come to the game that day. And they were playing, I don't remember, Purdue or somebody. It's different now. I'm just telling you, they're a little different. The Big Ten's got some depth to it, and they're not bad.
They're playing Virginia. That's what I was looking up.
Oh yeah,
that's a big game for them.
And I thought about that game too.
Yeah, it's a big game for them.
That's in Champaign, right?
It's in Champaign.
Yeah.
If they can win that game, they'd bump up a little bit category, which I think they're going to be.
Illinois -4.
Grind. I do not disagree with you, brother.
I don't either.
I don't disagree with you. I looked at it. I had it on my list. And then if you're getting frisky, and I may be getting frisky, depending on. I hope this is a late game. I may sprinkle $10 on my Georgia Southern Eagles.
Oh, really? Where are they?
Money line.
Oh, at Nebraska.
At Nebraska.
What's the?
Oh, let's see the money line is. Let's go back. Please be a late game because if I'm doing good, I typically start drinking a little bit, and then I get 6 o'clock. I just do all kinds of stupid stuff. Please be a late game. Please be a late game. Please be a late game. It is. It's 6:30.
Okay.
So what that means is, depending on where my alcohol intake is by 6:30 p.m.
Yeah.
And if I'm winning, if I'm in the green,
right,
I may. They're plus 1,350.
What's the line?
23.5.
So you think Georgia Southern could win the game?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because of just upfront play. I'm going with my man Richard Owens, O-line coach. He's a dude. They're nasty and tough and physical. And my man fighting Clay Hilton's quick, you clients. Going after Nebraska if I just want to gamble.
Okay.
I mean, $10 wins you what? $135?
Yeah.
Yeah, I may do something like that.
All right, we'll be back on Monday.
Do punishment real quick.
Oh yeah, we got to figure it out. So what are we doing?
All right, so my favorite. Let me scroll back up.
All right, while you're doing that, I'm going to thank a few people
for
making
start
this
thinking.
While you're looking. Don't forget, Walk On Sports Bistro. They put everything they've got into bringing you game day. Taste of Louisiana, mouth-watering, made from scratch Louisiana cuisine, po' boys, gumbo, voodoo shrimps, juicy burgers, fresh salads, 70-plus TVs, more than 40 ice-cold beers on tap. Visit them in Oxford or Ridgeland. And don't forget, let them take care of your tailgating needs this season. The family and friend bundles, the tailgate platters, you can order that online at walkons.com or on their very convenient Walk-Ons app. Don't forget also about our friends at our friend Todd Abbott, wipes and gloves at gmail.com. The Clean Side Wipes. If you guys are listening from some of the football offices, this probably is an email that's worth sending. Wipes and gloves at gmail.com. Lowest toxicity rating allowed by the EPA. Citric acid base, no harsh chemicals. It's going to remove all that film left by harsh chemicals such as ammonia, bleach, and alcohol as well. Perfect for schools, daycares, nurseries, hospitals, long-term care facilities, office buildings, football office buildings, houses, and more.
All right, so I got two that are kind of the same. I think we could do.
Okay.
All right, so one, I like the. Let's leave this to the vote and see what we get.
All right.
All right, so I like both involve a bowl game.
Okay.
Okay, so I think we go but I don't want to go Pinstripe Bowl. I thought of this one. Go to the Boise Potato Bowl.
Oh, I like this. Okay.
The Idaho Potato Bowl.
Okay.
And you cannot wear a jacket. And you have to go to that game.
Can you wear a sweatshirt?
It has to be no sweatshirts. You have to go to that game without a jacket.
Dear God.
We'll let you get away with long sleeve tee. How about that?
Okay.
All right. I have to go to that one. Or I like the idea of going to the Mayo game. And
where's that game?
Charlotte.
Charlotte, okay.
And I think it's Charlotte. And then you have to bet on the spread of that game. If you lose, you get the bucket of mayo dumped on your head.
Okay.
You think that's two good options?
I think both are legitimately good options.
Can you put a poll up on your thing, on the website?
Yes.
All right, let's do a poll we can get out of here.
I'll do a poll.
Then
I'll put that up at rebelgrove.com.
And then
I'll let the people vote.
Tally the votes and those two options, and then we can go from there.
Avery wants to know, can we see if the loser can actually dress as a potato?
I just need to take my shirt off. I already look like one. There's no dressing up needed. I lost my wife. You know, she lost the better part of me about 20 years ago.
Yeah, you probably warned her at the time. Hey, I told Laura years ago, I'm like, look, if you want to trade in, now's the time because
she's stuck with me now.
It's going downhill from here. The values, you're not going to get any return on your investment.
Yeah, going to the Liberty Bowl dressed as Elvis. That's pretty good. Yeah. So you go cold weather, Idaho, long way away, in the cold, or going to the Duke's Mayo game, getting Mayo done.
Okay, so we'll make those the two choices. I hate mayonnaise so bad that I almost just want to make this an executive decision. Let's go to Boise. You go to Boise, it's going to be cold that day.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking the coldest game, and somebody told me they played in that game. They were miserable. They had snot froze out of their nose and stuff. I can't remember who it was.
Oh my God! Can you wear gloves?
Yeah, just the shirt.
Okay, so you can wear a hat.
Yeah, just the shirt.
Just no jacket.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's no jacket.
How would you even dress as a potato?
What I would do? I would literally take my shirt off and put polka dots on my side on the potato. Because I tan really. I mean, you know what I mean? Like I'm already.
Yeah.
I got olive skin anyway. Got some engine in me.
No eating mayonnaise. That's not happening. No food eating at all.
You don't like mayonnaise?
Hate it.
Dude, can I tell you how redneck I am real quick before we get off here?
Sure.
The greatest thing on this planet is to get pinto beans, all right, and take a scoop of mayonnaise and dump it into the pinto beans and stir it up and eat them. It's freaking amazing.
That sounds god-awful.
It's amazing.
No.
That's good. It's good shit.
I vote that we do the Boise thing.
You want to do the Boise thing?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
What's the date on that game?
I don't know.
I'll find out.
It's usually post-Christmas.
What's it called? The Idaho?
Boise famous Idaho Potato Bowl. That's what it used to be called, unless they changed it to the Poulon Weed Eater Bowl or something.
Idaho Potato. They also have a marathon that's that as well. It is okay. This is perfect. If this is correct, let's see. Yeah, it's in 102 days.
You got a countdown already?
Yeah, it's December the 20th.
Okay.
2022 at Albertson Stadium. Matches the Mountain West versus the Mid-American. Yeah. All right, let's do that.
Maybe I can get a quick U client that's in that bowl game to give me some gear.
Let's do that. Probably not hard to get tickets.
No, I'm sure we could figure that out. I'll know somebody.
Come up with somebody to sponsor our travel. If you're out there listening and you want to sponsor our travel, make something happen, make something work. We can put a package together for you.
I'll tattoo it on my forehead. Go to Hobby Lobby.
It's brought to you by Hobby Lobby. All right, so that's what we're going to do. The loser. So we'll go through the first week of December through the championship weekend.
Championship Saturday.
And that gives us 2 weeks to plan.
Whatever.
Unless I continue to play like this, which I'll know in the middle of October, I probably should go ahead and book something.
No, but look, this is where it gets crazy, right? So if you get behind, you start taking Georgia Southern to beat Nebraska.
And I'm just
you're basically playing free money because if you win, that's plus 13 units.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
That would be plus 13 and a half units. That's how you make it up.
All right. So that's what we're going to do. Thanks to everybody for being in the stream. A bunch of y'all are in the stream. Don't forget, we've got, if you're an MPW digital person, Pete DeWeese's Pete's Pigskin Preview, presented by Walk-Ons, is coming to you at 4 o'clock. It's a little more than an hour. And then at 6 o'clock, we got the Butcher versus the Spin Instructor, presented by LB's Meat Market. Greg Jones versus Campbell McCready. Their week 2 picks from the SEC. I made them pick the Iowa game as well. And then at hey, it's a dictatorship. Hey. And then at 7, Chase Parham and I will be back with Hand Raise Guys, presented by Comer Heating and Air, Southern Air Conditioning and Heating. Ben Mintz of Barstool joins in hour number 1. We'll watch Bills, Rams, take your calls on the Rafters Music and Food Hotline. So a whole bunch coming your way here in the stream. Thanks to everybody for being part of it. Thanks to everybody at Rain.
Make sure you hit the subscribe and like button.
Yes.
And if you know people, grab their phones, steal their phones, hit the subscribe, hit the like. We're on Operation 10,000. By God, we're going to get this thing at 10,000.
Okay.
Speak it into existence.
From your mouth to God's ears.
Yeah,
or from God's ears to your mouth. Or your mouth to God's ears. Yeah.
Let's make it happen.
All right. So thanks to everybody. We'll be back Monday with another edition of McCready and Siskey, powered by Rain Total Body Fuel. Until then, take care.